There's no way. There's no way. It's way too much damage. Stop him with the block! He fell charge jump!
and he
Oh,
found
wow.
Wow.
Oh, what?
Somewhere there's a covert muffin just applauding this seed.
Holy crap.
Oh man, this is gonna come down to execution in the final escape, isn't it?
Sure is.
Every seed
Our
does.
favorite phrase.
Hello, SpeedGaming fans, and welcome back to the Ori and the Blind Forest Definitive Edition Randomizer Tournament 2021. We are in our bracket stages, and we have quite a match for you today. We've got ernEstOTheGrey versus poogleracer. My name is Jay Halcyon. I am joined by the one, the only Aiko. Hey, what's up, Aiko?
Hey, how's it going? I am so excited for this match we have here today. This is going to be a rando force trees match, as all the matches in the tournament are. As you said, it's going to be between ernest and poogleracer. One thing that is going to be slightly different about this seed from usual is we are using some new settings. We are using wall starved, which means our runners are not going to find any wall interaction in the early game, probably. We're using grenade starved, which means our runners are not going to find grenade in the early game. Probably, but we're also using the bonus light item pool, and I am so excited about the bonus light item pool. We have some wonderful, silly extra pickups in here today. We have extra jumps. We have things that make your jumps go higher. We have things that make your dashes go faster. We have teleports. We have the ability to dash underwater. Anything is possible in this magical new frontier opened up. But that's enough about the game mode. Hal, can you tell us a bit about these runners?
Yeah, so Poogle has been in our rando community for quite a while. She runs all skills, no out of bounds, teleport anywhere, plays on a controller, plays a lot of other games, and always rolls terrible seeds. It's just a thing. Aiko, Poogle just rolls terrible seeds. What can you tell us about Ernesto?
Ernest is a all skills runner. He doesn't run that much of other games. He plays on KBM. He is the #1 Belgian Ori DE speedrunner, and he finds at least 6 map stones every seed. These are important facts. We got a chance to talk to him a little bit earlier today. He's feeling okay about racing against Poogle. He hopes it'll be a great race. He's nervous right now, but thinks that those nerves will fade away once the race starts. Hoping for 3 wins overall in the bracket stage, and he's also hoping to get a lot of bonus pickups today, and I share that hope.
As do I, and actually as does Poogle. I spoke with her a little bit before this seed, and she is really, really excited about skill velocity upgrades. And who wouldn't be?
It's true. Who wouldn't be? Skill velocity upgrades are something that we are probably going to see at least one of. They are rando only or bonus item only pickups that basically they do what it says on the tin. They make the skills that have velocity in them be more velocity-y. Your charge jumps will jump higher, your dashes will go further, your climb is a skill that has velocity attached to it. You will climb up and down walls faster if you have a skill velocity. But we might not see climb because of that wall starved flag. And because we have both that wall starved and that grenade starved flag, I have to say I'm super excited because you know what that means, Hal? It means we're almost certainly going to get another charge jump seed. Everyone's favorite.
There's nothing anyone loves more than charge jump seeds, especially when you don't get wall interaction until like Misty Woods.
Yeah, I mean, why shouldn't wall interaction just be in Misty Woods? The climb's in Misty Woods, right? Like that's just how the game works. You go to Misty Woods, you get your wall interaction. But we're starting off nice and slow and simple. Ori runs start the same way. You skip the prologue because you don't want to have to cry and also do 10 minutes of running around back and forth.
Exactly. So Aiko, I've got a really important question for you. What's your call for the first pickup?
Charge jump. Just start us right away. It's gonna be charge jump. Let's see. One time. I lied. It's clean water. That's worse actually. Clean water early is just actually bad because it means you have to go swimming. And if you go swimming, you might. I mean, it's like really the problem with finding clean water early is that it could mean that you end up having to just do bad things like swamp swim. Like long swims are a possibility. Thankfully, they're less possible than they would be with some other flags. But there are just all sorts of things that can happen with clean water. And none of them are great. I think the optimal time to find clean water is when you're almost all the way in go mode, like halfway through the seed. That's like the best time to find it.
Yep, but that clean water does give them some extra pickups in logic right off the bat here. So we'll see. They've got a keystone already, so we're probably going to be heading into Glades here, I think.
Yeah. Our runners are picking up the second of the 2 non-randomized pickups at the beginning. We're going to get our little fairy. Sign will be here. We have actually muted him in the rando. He doesn't get to talk to us. He still gets to do his cute little poke attacks. You'll see Poogle using Sign to break these little purple barriers. And then we'll be heading left into Sunken Glades. We'll see if we are going to take the... we've got 4 pickups here we can get. We've got the 2 keystones and the 2 underwater pickups. And that is a keystone. So our runners are going to be able to head further left into Sunken Glades.
Yes, they will, and they still have quite a few pickups here before they even get through that door, so it'll be interesting to see what comes up. We've got another keystone already, and Poogle going for that energy cell pickup immediately.
Yep. We've got to be a little careful about that fish, and it's a nice amount of experience. That'll be enough to give her a level up, and maybe that level up explosion. Nope, won't quite get to the fish. Not a problem. And charge jump. All right. I was close. We got it. We got our charge jump seed. Here we go.
And
Poogle,
immediately, Poogle going back to spawn, and she's going to be checking this up high pickup. It's a jump upgrade. She's going to be keeping that.
Yeah, our first jump upgrades. That is going to make all of her jumps, including just your basic jump from the ground, 25% higher. With the exception of charge jump. Charge jump gets a bit less out of the jump upgrades than the other jumping skills, and the reason for that is because charge jump is also affected by skill velocity. I think actually we're going to see here a bit of a divergence. ernest is checking more pickups in the left half of Sunken Glades, found himself a health cell, and is moving into, I think he's going to check the wall jump loop and then check Spirit Caverns the way up. But Poogle is heading into Blackroot. Want to talk a little bit about this routing divergence and why people might go one over the other?
Yeah, it's a very reasonable call to go in either direction. They've both got trees we have to do. Glades is a little bit more dense in terms of pickups. ernEstO's going to be picking up, getting to see more pickups faster. On the other hand, Blackroot doesn't really get sped up a whole lot by many other pickups. So it's not likely to get faster. Glades, on the other hand, can get a lot faster than it is with just charge jump. ernEstO on the left, finding that sunstone. So a little bit of, oh my goodness, and...
He also found Dash and a Warp to the Swamp Swim, which he is going to take. All right, Warps are added in the bonus light pickup pool. They are pickups that don't get consumed when you touch them, and you can interact with them to basically get sent to a new place. That warp takes you to the Swamp Swim. This warp will be there forever for both players. They can use it as many times as they want. And ernest takes it and finds the Sorrow Teleporter. Wow, that is a massive find. Poogle will probably be finding that. And we'll see how many other pickups in this area he checks before he decides to go back to spawn. It looks like it is just going to be one, but yeah. Oh, wow, on the right, Poogle finds another warp here, and it is one that will take her to the Spider Sack Energy Door. She can check one pickup here before alt-R'ing, which we'll see where she decides to go next, but we are coming out of the gate quickly with that Sunstone, and this dash find for ernest is going to be huge.
Yeah, Dash being very quick movement through, especially this Glades area that is very... Oh, it takes a death. Goes back to that Swamp Swim. It's going to have to go back through that to get that,
Sorrow Teleporter, yeah.
very valuable Sorrow Teleporter once again.
Yep, Poogle ends up taking her warp back and keeps the health regen this time, alt-R'ing instead of reloading to menu. We'll see if ernest can maybe make a safety save here. That would help a lot. The thing about having dash this early is that it will sometimes send you dashing very quickly into something that will damage you. And one beautiful thing about dash that we like sometimes and hate other times is that when you dash, it instantly resets all your iframes. So you can get yourself into trouble very quickly. And ernest is at 1 health and no energy, but he's made a safety save.
Oh no, he hit the bramble!
The very edge. Oof. That is painful. Over on the right, we've got Poogle activating this lantern teleporter. It turns her movement bonuses back on. ernest is taking so much damage from these spikes, these what do you even want to call them? These brambles, these slimes, that's what you want to call them. And oop, finds a mapstone. This time he's okay. We'll see. I think he's going to drop down instead of going to turn that mapstone in. He needs to be careful. The things here falling can deal a decent amount of damage. Is careful, gets through, and we're going to see him grab all 3 pickups here as Poogle finishes up the auto scroller section in Blackroot.
Yeah, and Poogle, again, not quite getting that dash just yet, won't have that Sorrow Teleporter just yet, but we would expect that she'll head in that direction very soon.
Yeah, I expect to see after this our runners ending up changing places, though either of them could find a warp that sends them, off on a quest, and they might not end up That's the thing about routing in bonus light. You have to be willing to be flexible and be willing to explore routes that you haven't before. ernest is not actually going to head into black route yet. He wants to do more things in left glades. He's almost certainly unsure if he's going to turn the mapstone in, but definitely is going to be heading over to the left and checking the black route or the spirit caverns.
Yeah, he had previously opened that door, so definitely a good idea to check those pickups, having already spent the keystones.
Yep.
And so far, just getting a mapstone, a couple of keystones. That mapstone will be nice when he goes into Blackroot. He'll be able to turn that in after the boulder area. A couple more keystones. Maybe we'll see him go up.
Yeah, he's got
here.
enough. Yeah, it looks like he is going to take this door, open it up, and head up. Poogle, meanwhile, in lower Blackroot in upper Blackroot, checks the ability cell, doesn't find anything of consequence. Is going to make her way down to the boulder escape section. Takes a nice glitch here. If you save while pulling the lever, oh no, Magnet is making it take longer for her to take the intentional death here, but does manage to get it. That sticks this door open and is going to let her get to this Indiana Jones section without a problem. Meanwhile, on the left, keep an eye out for ernest. He's going to be checking this sea flame area, and it might end up being the case that Poogle doesn't make her way here for a while. Oh, ernest, he's back here, not too far, not too much loss there, but it is a little bit of an awkward death. That Frankie Stomp dealing him those 2 damage. Only got 2 health and not much energy. Definitely low on resources. We'll see where he goes first. Is he going to pull the lever here? It looks like he is planning on it.
Yeah, and on our right side, Poogle having just a little bit of trouble with these crushers. And I keep seeing this text at the top of Poogle's screen, movement bonuses on and off. Eiko, what can you tell me about that?
Yeah, so in bonus pickups you get these things. You get jump grades, you get skill velocities, and they change how your character moves. And sometimes that's great. Other times it can be frustrating.
I'm going to interrupt you here for just a moment. Ernesto just found Stomp on the Charge Flame tree. So Ernesto has been finding that Glades is absolutely loaded, while unfortunately Poogle has been finding that Blackroot, and as I say that, Poogle finds Double Jump. We might have quite the quick seed on our hands.
Yeah, this is a lot of really nice skills to have, especially in a seed where you're stuck with that wall interaction. ernest is bonking his head, but is going to be able to head over here. And oh no, he doesn't have air dash. Can't quite make it there first, but with that stomp is going to be able to access a ton of areas, including ernest now gets his first jump upgrade. Didn't have that before and is going to take that into Blackroot. Meanwhile, Poogle on the right is going to head into that left glades area, which is going to get her pretty soon that dash and that stomp, potentially, depending on her routing in the area.
Yeah, and of course, our runners here switching places, so we don't expect to see a whole lot of new information, but as they finish up this swapped places zones, we'll see them kind of sync back up, and we'll see where they decide to go from there.
Yeah. Anyways, as you were saying, movement bonuses can be toggled on and off, which means that if you need to, if you don't want your jumps to be going quite so high, if your skills are a little too velocitous for you, you can toggle that off. Sometimes it's just important to do that for trick setups. Most notably, the final escape grenade jump. If you try to do it with any amount of skill velocity or any amount of jump grades, you will soft lock. There is no known position for any amount of non-standard skill velocity to make that trick work. So, if you're playing bonus pickups and you want to do the final escape grenade jump, turn them off.
Yeah, indeed, very important to have in mind. And Poogle here, skipping that wall jump loop area. Hopefully she goes back, because as we know, and she doesn't, that's where dash is.
Yeah, I can't imagine keeping that skip permanently. I'm suspecting maybe she wanted to get a level up bonus there quickly. We'll see what she ends up doing. ernest, meanwhile, takes the warp into the spider sack energy cell, grabs the health regeneration there, and is now going to be well equipped to do this second half of Blackroot without much trouble at all.
And Poogle grabbing those few pickups around the wall jump tree, grabbing the wall jump tree itself, just some more keystones. Let's see what she does from there. And yeah, she's running over to the right. She's going back for the wall jump loop.
Yep. Meanwhile, on the left, ernest is doing the most difficult to skip section of Blackroot. You can with some skills and upgrade combinations skip this, but it is difficult and rarely worth waiting around to do so. Poogle finds her Sunstone. She's going to be happy about that. She's about to find her dash. She'll be very happy about that too. We'll see if she takes this warp to Swamp Swim. Looks like for now the answer is no, but she might circle back to it. If she doesn't go there at all, she won't be getting the Sorrow Teleporter, but yeah, it looks like she's going to head back up there. Heads up play, always investigate your warps. Well, hopefully she'll make a save first. That's generally the way you want to use a warp. You want to make a save right before it, check out the pickups around it, see if you want to keep it or if you want to just reload or take an intentional death backwards.
Yeah, and I'm really interested to see here, does Poogle takes the save here, so not intending to go back on this warp, could be thinking about, oh, dies in those crushers, could be thinking about using the Swamp Swim for access to that Stomp Tree.
Yeah, this would be earlier access and Logic would definitely give it to them, and it can be nice getting this tree out of the way. We'll see how much she checks around here. It's definitely a reasonable thing to be doing, but one thing you want to be careful about when you're doing these bonus pickup seeds is following warps too far, because warps are never in logic, and you can really mess with your sense of logic if you follow one of these chains too far and then struggle to find out. We'll see what she ends up finding though. One thing about being out of logic like this is that you get more EXP from your EXP pickups on average, and that can be pretty important, especially early game.
Yeah, and of course, one thing to keep in mind here as we're talking about this logic is that we know where the Stomp pickup is. We know that they have access to Charge Jump, and with those abilities, can't they actually...
Oh yeah, no, you're right.
Our runners can actually get to this area.
Yeah, they have enough, yeah, because they can go through Lower Blackroot and then go from Lower Blackroot up through the rock slide, and that's some logic, that's some progression, that's good stuff. All right, ernest is going to be fine here. He doesn't need to do an essay because he already broke the rocks, doesn't need Sign to tell him, hey, there's a stompable floor here, come back, and he'll head up here, turn in his first map stone, and get his double jump, which he will be very happy to have.
Yeah, that puts Ernesto on par with what Poogle has found. Poogle, of course, still missing that Stomp pickup, but we know that she will find it eventually because she cannot skip the Charged Flame Tree.
Curious to see where Ernesto heads next. He's got a couple good options, including, looks like Grenade Tree. I really like this choice. It's something he can reach now. It's in logic now. It's not going to be hard to get to. And the thing about Grenade Tree is you always need to do an essay there, so it might as well get it out of the way earlier and get that ability point leveled up. Meanwhile, Poogle has made it just find a Grenade Tree, and we've gotten the clue is that the Sunstone is in Glades. So no information from the clue. Every 3 trees, when you're playing this game mode, you get a clue about the location of one of the dungeon keys, but the order is fixed, and it really doesn't care if the clue gives you no information because you've already gotten it. Poogle finds the Swamp Teleporter in Inner Swamp, which is pretty funny, but still useful. That is a nice find. It will save her some time later.
Very useful here. That's actually going to get her access to that entire right-hand side of the map without doing that grotto hijinks that we were mentioning earlier. But let's see what Poogle decides to do here with what she's found so far. It looks like, is this a Frankie Walk?
It's the Poogle special. Poogle loves doing Frankie Walk. She's got the setup for it. It's Frankie Walk in time. Meanwhile, on the left, Ernest leveled up air dash is kind of in a sticky situation, though. I'm not sure if he notices yet. He currently has no energy, and even though he has an ability point, without an energy to make a save here, yeah, he's noticed it now. He's going to go back down. There's an energy crystal below him, so not all is lost, but he'll just have to repeat this wraparound movement, which has got to feel a little obnoxious, but it's fine. This is way less time lost than actually watching the cutscene here would be, so it's all good. And on the right, you'll see Poogle kill this enemy, put 2 energy in the door, and level up, refilling her energy, giving her access to this Death Gauntlet area.
And of course, this Death Gauntlet area, much less deadly with the water being nice and clean the way it is. Oh no, dunking the Frankie there into the water, unfortunately won't necessarily be able to check one of these pickups because she has not yet found Stomp.
She's got charge jump though, which means she can, if she wants, it looks like she won't opt into it, but she could attack the Frankie that's up there and use that as a lure instead. That takes a lot more time though. I super understand just saying, I'll get that when I come back with the first Frankie. It's not too big a time loss and hopefully won't be too big a deal. However, that pickup is in logic and you can be burned by missing it if you're just a little too enthusiastic about Frankie Werder, which I would know some things about, unfortunately. Alright, interesting. I think Ernest is coming back here, maybe
Looks
to
like
turn
to
in
put
the
in the map. Yeah, just getting his second mapstone turn in here. 88 XP. We've seen that before, I believe. Poogle finding a 4th energy cell in Grotto, so now able to access those 4 energy doors.
Yeah, that'll be nice to have. ernest, meanwhile, is I think also heading to Grotto, but he's going to be doing it through that Black Root teleporter area. He's already stomped the peg. Is going to be found on the right. Poogle finds Wind Restored. No glide to pair with it just yet, but should she find that glide, it'll be nice to have. And ooh, ernest finds Charge Flame. Now they have logical plant access. That'll be a real nice thing to have. He's going to use it right away to get these plants in this lower left Grotto area. There's 3 of them total. It'll be a nice thing to have.
Yeah, and I would expect that we will see Poogle eventually find that. That's a pretty common pickup to check on your way down into Grotto for that double jump tree. Ernesto, speaking of double jumps, and they've got double jump, and now Ernesto has an extra double jump. Unlike our normal randomizer, there are multiples of this pickup in this item pool.
Yeah, there are up to 3. We could see our runners jumping up to 6 times per jump. Double jump with extra double jumps and jump upgrades can get really silly. Poogle has not logical plant access, but just leveled up Charge Dash, so she'll be able to get into plants either way. That is going to be nice. And speaking of Charge Dash, ernest finds Charge Dash efficiency, which halves the cost of each individual Charge Dash. And I'm curious to see if we're going to see him go for a save drop here. It looks like we are. It's an exciting strategy.
Yeah, pushing this rock over, jumping up, and then sort of stalling above this laser, leveling up an ability, and reloading, dropping down underneath it. I think he might be inside that rock, though.
Yeah,
Oh
he
no!
is.
Oh no, he's stuck in a death loop! I hope his
He
backup
can,
save's in a good spot.
he can altar out of this if he spams it. There's like 1 frame where that's safe, but yeah, hopefully his backup save isn't too far back. Ooh, it is in Black Root. That is, this is the kind of trick that, oh no. He's back.
Oh, that is so much time loss.
Yeah, oof. I mean, he doesn't need to recheck some of those pickups, but that is a big time loss. And that trick that we just saw him do is definitely the kind of thing you really want to make a backup save for. Not all is lost. He checked most of the pickups in that area, and it doesn't need to go back for most of them, but he is going to want to go back for that extra double jump, for that Charge Flame, and it's definitely just the kind of death that feels bad to take.
Yeah, meanwhile, Poogle on the right, making her way into this spider sack area, trying to climb up here with that double jump wall interaction, but running into these spikes, unfortunately.
Yeah, so wall jump and climb are usually the ways you want to be able to interact with walls, but this game's very fun, and if you are touching a wall and sort of fall away from that wall, it will reset your double jumps, and you can use that and some sort of very silly back and forth rapid movement to basically just climb up walls using double jump. And oh
and
wow,
she
Poogle
finds
finds
a water vein.
That's both dungeon keys. I guess clues don't matter here.
Yeah, we are. I'm feeling a little clueless, I'll admit.
Yeah, it's no clues, no problems. All right, ernest is coming back for revenge on this save drop. It looks like I see him save. He is going to back up this time. Love to see that. Backups are incredibly good strategy. It takes like 5 to 6 seconds to make one. Ooh, Poogle finds the Valley teleporter. Ernest had already gotten that pickup, so oh actually wow, no, Ernest does not have that pickup anymore. We saw him try and go for it, but it was not easily available.
Yeah, he didn't have the ability to actually get over to that pickup at that time. He didn't have double jump, he didn't have air dash. And so Poogle now getting her stomp. We may and Ernesto finding grenade.
Oh wow, these are some powerful finds for both our runners. Ernest now has both methods of blue breakage. He can break open these levers, these little grenade switches, immediately grabs the grenade pickup at spawn. We have a fascinating sets of pickups each that the other runner doesn't have. Really curious to see where Ernest heads next. I think he's going back to the Black Root teleporter and heading to the double jump tree.
Yeah, and of course, going to those trees is important. We are still playing Forest Trees mode. Poogle making her first trip now into that Spirit Caverns area. I'm surprised it's taken her this long. She spent the Keystones a long time ago, but finally catching up on that Mapstone count.
Yep. Of course, we've seen from Ernest that Mapstones up through, I think 3 don't matter. I think he turned 1 more in before he died. Ernest being very thorough, even checking this Grotto mini boss. Not a common thing for people to check, but is very, very quick with the skill set. He can kill it in 1 or 2 cycles. Gets it in 1 jump, very nice. And now we'll see if this pickup down here is worth the visit.
Yeah, Poogle going back to this Blackroot Burrows teleporter, and going left, looks like she's heading for that grenade tree as well.
Yep, we'll see if she goes any further down than ernest did. I'd be a bit surprised to see it. I think, and at this point, it just makes more sense to head straight to the tree, and that is what she's doing. Got
Yeah,
runners.
and of course our runners have plenty of keystones right now. They're not in any dire straits. Of course, they don't quite have enough. No, we do see Poogle
Yeah.
heading down further. She's going to be... Oh
Oh,
no.
Poogle actually looks like she wants to show off a piece of tech she found and also hates. This is known as a Poogle stomp, and what you do is it's a trick where you stomp an enemy and then immediately get a little bit up into the air, and you immediately using that extra little bit of vertical. Basically, you rocket jump off them after stomping them, and ooh, Poogle does not get it. And oh gosh, ernest finds a first skill velocity. His dashes are going to be faster. His charge jumps are going to be faster. Even your stomps, they go down faster. And Poogle is just having a lot of trouble with this trick. And because her save is so far away, she's bleeding out 5 to 10 seconds every time she goes for it. This is definitely not the kind of thing you are hoping to see in your run. Looks like she's going to give up on for that now. I super support that. It is not in logic. She is going to be able to head over here and grab the 2 in logic pickups instead.
You know, she does have that charge jump and double jump, so she could do it that way, but is definitely having some struggles.
Yeah. All right, ernest goes back and turns in his 3rd mapstone again. Wants to be very clear about his mapstone. And oh, I love this. Remembers that he has the swamp warp and takes it because it is a faster way into swamp swim and to the swamp tree that he had access to in any other way. Love to see that kind of heads up play, remembering warps are there. And oh, Poogle gets a level up and uses that to kill the frog on the other side of the door. Grenade who?
Yeah, that's a very heads up play. I love to see it. And
And
find
it's Bash! What? Why is Bash there? Oh my god! Oh, ernest is almost certainly not going to head down there. That's a massive advantage for Poogle. Bash is the best skill in the game, only gets better with skill velocities if Poogle picks one of those up, and I think we saw one on the way to the double jump tree, so that could end up being massive for Poogle. Oh my god.
Yeah, this race is certainly heating up very interestingly. One of our runners with the ability to break blue plants in logic with Sarge Flame and Grenade, the other one with Bash. Neither of our runners have found glide or any wall interaction yet, though.
Yeah, I'm not sure it'll come up. Our runners could find like either 1 or 2 more double jumps, and I think they'll be good without glide. Wall interaction, same, 1 or 2 more double jumps. Really, for me, I think the actual biggest thing here that worries me is that Bash is massive, but ernest also doesn't have the water vein, and that could end up being the thing even more than Bash that ends up bleeding him timeout, depending on how long that search takes him. Because Poogle, looking at what she has and knows now, has to be in go mode.
Yeah, if she's not feeling like she's in go mode now, she's got to be feeling pretty close, and we'll see what else she's doing. What did she pick up there? Okay, just some XP.
All right. Warmth returned for ernest, making the seed nice and cozy. It looks like both of our runners are now on... Well, ernest is on 6 trees with Poogle on 5, but she's close behind, and I think going to be heading from here down... Yep, down, and almost certainly going to get the double jump tree. Oh, that's fun. ernest finds a warp to the horror field ability cell. This is kind of useful. You can like get from here. He can actually activate the horror teleporter. There's like a bridge that's like supposed to be blocking him, but it has no collision from below, so you can actually just go up through the bridge. Unsure if that's like obvious to him. We'll see if he's familiar with that. He warps out, so either probably just didn't want to bother going into Horu. I understand that.
Yeah, and interestingly, we now see Poogle starting to skip some pickups. She did not choose to go through those crushers, and instead just went over the top and grabbed that energy cell and called it good.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we've got ernest heading back here. Ooh, he is going to get this Valley TP here, and if he keeps heading to the right, he's going to be able to find this water vein, which will be nice for him to have. Poogle gets her skill velocity, very happy about it, spamming Alt-T to make sure everyone knows she's got the skill velocity and excited about it.
And ernEstO here, going into that spider sack area, he doesn't know it yet, but we do. He's going to find that water vein there, and that was one of those big advantages that we considered Poogle to have. So where will Poogle be going now?
we will have to wait and see. Our runners are basically at parity in terms of trees check, but Poogle does have that bash, and that's huge. Bash is such a good skill. I think we're going to see Poogle do the Ginso tree right now. I super support that. ernest, it looks like, is going for a magnet-related trick to get this door open, but it's not going to open it. Poogle, meanwhile, finds a second skill velocity. She's going to be going faster than ever. Watch how high her charge jumps take her as she enters this Ginso tree on the right.
Yeah, that is so crazy. And oh, Ernesto almost getting this trick, reloading it again. As Poogle
however,
charging up this charge jump, that goes so hot. Look at that bash.
Yeah, bash is skill velocity is very good, friends. Look at her go. ernest gives up on that pickup, which is good because we actually know that that pickup was accessible earlier, and Ernest already has it. He may have forgotten, but he got that pickup via a warp and doesn't need to check it. Looks like
that's actually true. I had completely forgotten about it, so it's not at all unusual for one of our runners to do the same. And
Yep.
what do we have Poogle doing here? Okay, just a little bit of maybe
Air
hesitation with the dash.
All right, it looks like Ernest is hot on her heels. He's going to head in here. Is he going to head over here and get to this pickup? Yes, he gets his second skill velocity too. Both our runners having some high velocity. However, Poogle getting the extra mile out of it with that bash pickup has made her way to that first Ginso mini boss, which is not going to stand a chance to charge dash and charge jump combined. Look at that, one cycle, murdered. Absolutely
And of course,
annihilated.
both of our runners having both that Sorrow teleporter and that Valley teleporter, whenever they decide that they're in go mode, they can just go.
All right, so we're gonna want to keep track of keystones here because, well, Poogle has as many as she needs. Ernest is on 3 keystones, so let's hope that one of these things Poogle finds is a keystone, or we're gonna. Oh, yeah, okay. There are in fact 2 keystones in this passage. Ernest will not be stranded here. Very, very nice for him. It can be real sad to get here and not have the keystones to get any further.
And Poogle zipping all over the place in this Ginso tree with those skill velocities and her dash and bash pickups.
Yeah,
Ernest
absolutely.
likewise, flying all over the place. I haven't seen Ernest using that toggleable ability of these velocity upgrades though, so that could be an advantage for Poogle if any of these movements are particularly precise.
Potentially, or Ernest just feels comfortable going fast. Neither of our runners have access to climb, so it's not like they need to do the climb. They need to turn it off for the final escape. We'll see. Poogle heading into Sorrow, which puts her a little bit ahead of Ernest. I'm really curious to see what Ernest does next, if he's going to keep going higher up the Ginso tree, because he doesn't have that bash. He has less accessibility to do some mid and late game stuff. He is going to be checking these pickups at least. We'll see how much further he goes. But eyes to the right, you can see Poogle making her approach to the charge flame tree, or charge jump tree, excuse me, at an incredibly rapid pace. We'll see her opting for Stomp. She's going to use Stomp in this corner to get through this area. Gets it very quickly, nice and easy, and has made her way to this tree.
Yeah, and we're going to have some almost synchronized trees here, as on the left, Ernesto has reached the bash tree. Now, we'll see if he decides to leave out of the Ginso tree or decides to go higher. It looks like he's deciding to go up more. Maybe not entirely confident in his abilities to finish, or maybe just hasn't given it a lot of thought.
Yeah, I could see either being the case. Of course, there are lots of individual single very powerful pickups left in the pool. There's Glide, obviously. There's the Horror Teleporter, which would be a nice find, save you 20-25 seconds. And of course, he doesn't know that Bash isn't here, so he could be looking for that, and it would be incredibly helpful at this stage of the game. So I definitely understand searching for more stuff, especially in an area like Ginso post Bash tree, which frequently has 1 or more useful pickups, but not today. Today it had nothing.
Yeah, and on the right we see Poogle getting that Death Plane skip, it looks like. Second try, so Kuro will not be giving her trouble, but she of course cannot save now, so she's gonna... Whoa! That's rocket jump.
It's rocket jump with 2 skill velocities. It's pretty good. It's you go pretty fast, and with that, Poogle needs to be careful though, and it looks like she has decided that she doesn't actually want to check that pickup, and it's just going to go stomp the rocks onto Kuro's head and makes it. Ooh, ernest is at the Sorrow teleporter. Takes a death to some spikes here. Needs to be a bit more careful, but makes it over and is now ready to do the second part of the charge jump approach. But he is falling behind. Poogle is just making up more and more time with this dash pickup, and oh, it is looking good for her.
Yeah, and this is a bit of a reversal from what we might have expected early on, with Ernesto getting that early skill lead, with Poogle going into Blackroot, not finding anything that would compare to Dash or to Stomp, but we're seeing Poogle just absolutely running through this Misty Woods area at a breakneck pace.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe upper Blackroot didn't have anything of note, but Blackroot had dash, and so Poogle's gamble on Blackroot paying off huge, and just zipping through Misty with these two stacks of skill velocity, these bashes and these dashes just take her so far. We will see her potentially do a very ridiculous, another one of those very ridiculous rocket jumps up here, or she can just use her incredibly powerful charge jumps and bashes to just fly through this area. Just look at that incredible speed she gets off of these abilities.
It's so good. I mean, look at just the distance on that air dash.
Zoom, 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 zoom.
And of course, with the with that rainbow dash that she's got active, it even changes the sounds of the dashes, so they do match up to that neum neum noise.
It's important to go neum. Poogle getting these checks in, just experience, but might as well grab it. And gosh, just zipping through this area, really only has a little bit left to go. And this is her last tree, so after this we can see Poogle teleport to Swamp using that teleporter, and is going to be able to make her way to the final escape. Meanwhile, Ernest falls down to the bottom half of Valley and grabs a jump grade, which means his charge jumps are going to be ridiculous. Getting another one of those really high-powered rocket jumps, and is going to drop the rocks onto Kuro. Means he's only going to have one tree left. Also, our runners are very close, but Poogle just has that lead with that bash and positional advantage. She's going to get to this tree really just as Ernest is grabbing the tree before her. So that is a full tree lead and a full Misty lead.
Yeah, and Poogle showing some great awareness using that movement bonus toggle with some very precise double jumps in there that jump grade might throw off. Now getting her 10th tree, she's going to be on her way to Mount Horu. Ernesto still having to finish this Misty Woods, that blue breakage advantage not paying off for him.
Yeah, it turned out not to be super relevant. That grenade pickup is nice to have. It can do some extra damage in some places, but there was nothing we didn't see anything locked behind grenade, and really just bash and really clean, good movement from Poogle coming through clutch, as she is going to make her way through Horror Fields at incredible speeds.
Yeah, and we have been seeing both of our runners up until this point still checking pickups. Ernesto now starting to skip pickups in Misty. I like this call. He's got enough to get through the rest of Misty. Depending on his comfort with the final escape with these skills, could be able to do that as well.
It looks like he wants to check a few more quick things. Is going to stop for this experience. Poogle, meanwhile, grabs the Horrorfield Tell Cell, gets an energy cell there. It's nice to have, not going to be a big deal. Poogle grabbing that Baneling, taking it on a wild ride, charge dash bash, and just sends it flying and sends herself flying right to the door. Yeah, please enjoy this replay, checking out this incredible little bits of movement. Whoosh.
Yeah, thanks to our restreamer Jamal for that. And here we have Poogle setting up. Is she going for the door? She's going to go for the door. She is not choosing the path of violence today. And gets it first try. But nope. Of course she's doing this. She's going for this, what we call the validation pickup. Of course, it is not required to have a valid run. But we now know that she has checked that pickup. Didn't quite get another level up. But oh my goodness, that charge jump.
Ernest just took a death and had to go all the way back to the beginning of Misty Woods. He, I think, didn't reload after the kill plane skip and couldn't make a save in Misty and is now all the way back to the start of Misty. But we don't have time to talk about how tragic that is because we have Poogle starting the final escape. And we'll see how she uses her movement bonuses, when she uses her movement bonuses, when she opts to turn them off to get more comfortable timing, is going to get through here. And with this charge jump is going to be able to just zip through here, doesn't have to worry about that right lantern at all, is going to make her way to the elemental room. She's got a bunch of jumps, she's got a bunch of speed, the water is clean, and she is really only going to have to worry about potentially spawning Kuro in that final room. We'll see what she does about that. She may opt for fish strats. Let's see, through the water, gets fish 1, fish 2, and yeah, it's fish strats time. She's going to take this fish out of the water, take it into a specific position, and oh no, doesn't get the
she's in the
charge
fire.
off.
Oh no!
All right,
Takes the dash.
starting again.
Ernesto getting a little bit of catch up there, but having to still work his way through this Misty Woods. Again, cannot save, did not reload after that Kuro kill plane skip. So needs to be very careful here. Only on 5 and a little sliver of health, and all of these spikes do massive damage when you're at that low number.
Yep, he actually can save now. He got a reload in, but it did end up costing him way too much time, unfortunately. Poogle is back here, back again, decides not to go for fish strats, is instead just going to try and jump around the slip, but oh, she needs to be careful. Oh no, she spawned Kuro! If she can get up there, oh no, falls on the wall, and still no wall interaction for either of our runners. This final escape is doable with these skills, but it's certainly not easy. That is a very tight window. Getting past Kuro there, Poogle knows how to do it, but the execution window is just very slim, and she needs to be very careful and hopefully won't take too many more tries, because if this keeps happening, ernest is right on her heels. He has his 10th 3 and is making his way to the final escape himself.
Yeah, Poogle stomping back into that water one more time. Decides not to go for this fish strats again. Trying to jump around this Kuro spawn trigger. Spawns Kuro. Can she get over? Okay, she made it to the safe.
Oh no, the fire!
The fire, oh no!
Yeah, it looks like Poogle's bonking a little too hard into the ceiling right before the that little corner, which is making it harder to get around that piece of movement. But yeah, I don't know, if this keeps happening, this could end up coming down to execution in the final escape, Hal.
It could. Ernesto on our left side, checking some more pickups and giving us a nice little view of Kuro in a less violent manner. Poogle looks like was going for that fish, didn't quite get it. Gets
Spawns
into the
Kuro
corner,
in.
and
Oh,
no,
the
she takes the fire again.
This is so rough. Like, when you're dashing that fast, it's just going to hit you into the damage, and Poogle is going very fast through these first rooms. Definitely probably starting to get a little frustrated with how obnoxious this final room is with the specific skill set and upgrade set. But ernest definitely doesn't seem to be comfortable with these skills. And remember, he doesn't have that bash. Poogle's getting a lot of value out of bash here. This final escape will be much harder for ernest. This could be... Alright, Poogle decides to go for fish again. We'll see how this goes. This just needs to require one precise stroke, and yes, she gets it. She gets that charge dash, and with that, she is out and through, gets through her final escape. GG to Poogle. She's going to be finishing up with about a final time of around 40 minutes.
Yeah, just a bit under 40 minutes it looks like. Meanwhile, on our left, Ernest heading into Mount Horu, setting up for his door warp. And it looks like he has chosen violence.
Yes, you love to see
And
it.
oh my goodness, so many charge dashes. He's got that
Love
charge
that
dash efficiency, just absolutely spamming it on it. That extra skill velocity, making the charge dashes go through that worm. And Ernest also going for this validation pickup.
Our run is double valid. Truly, we are blessed today.
Yes, indeed. I almost wonder if our runners had talked about doing that beforehand.
Well, we'll see. Ernest was earlier surveying his bonus pickup inventory. He's got 2 jump grades. He's got 2 of those skill velocities. He does not have bash. We will see how he decides to use his the movement options available to him to get through this final escape. It won't be easy, but I believe in him.
As do I. He's shown some great ability with his movement here. Charge dashing, dashing, air dashing, stomping through, getting that really big high charge jump. Is it high enough? It is when you throw in that many double jumps with the jump grades.
Yep, okay, he's gonna have to, take 1 damage boost here, gets up, gets over, is fine. Oh man, he is making easy work of the first parts of the escape. Of course, this final room without Bash is going to be pretty tricky. He needs to murder these fish. Doesn't have the option of using fish strats because he cannot bring one out of the water. We'll see what he does and whether or not he has an easy way of getting around here. Yep, gets through, gets around. First try. Wow, this actually ended up being really close. ernEst is going to finish his escape not too far after after Poogle did. Wow.
Yeah, and that actually putting it down to that death in Misty. It might be.
Yeah, this ended up being an incredibly close race, despite that lack of a bash skill. GG to ernEst, GG to Poogle, who finished with a final time, you were right, of 39:49, just under that 40-minute mark.
Yeah, and we will see if either of our runners would like to step in for an interview after they've finished up here. ernEst now just needing to hold that right input until Naru crosses that finish line. And it looks like we do have Poogle in our on-deck area. Eiko, do you want to drag her in?
Yeah, sure. Let's get Poogle in here. Well, let's wait a little bit and let's see if ernEst wants to join. We can join them in, pull them in at the same time, and give them both our GGs that way. This is a really good scene. We got to see some of the beautiful things this game mode has to offer. Nice warps, some skill velocity, some jump grades. Just lots of beautiful things happening here.
Yeah, and of course that wall-starved flag actually paying off for once, getting that charge jump start and not ever seeing climb or wall jump. I do see ernEsto has jumped into our on deck as well.
Yeah,
So we'll get both of them in here for an interview.
All right.
GG to both of you, ernEsto and Poogle.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Poogle, I'm going to start with you. You took this win. How did that race feel for you?
Honestly, not too bad. Like, I mean, aside from horror, we're just not going to talk about that.
Horror what? I mysteriously have lost all memory from your excellent first try door warp, and what I can only assume was a well-placed first try fish strats. We had some interesting route divergences between you two early on. GG also, ernEst, with you heading into left glade soon and grabbing that dash early. What were you thinking when you grabbed dash and were also looking at that warp into Swamp Swim when you saw that?
I thought, let's check it first, and that's an easy access to Swamp if I don't get easy access with Stomp or something. And I use it later on to get to Swamp as well, but yeah. I thought check the pickups, and then it was throw TP, and then I was happy with the pickup.
Yeah, I thought that was a really heads-up play that we saw both of you actually take, using that warp to get into Swamp rather than running there normally. Back to Poogle here. Poogle, you had some difficulty with your eponymous trick there, the Poogle Stomp, in lower black group, but you kept going for that one pickup, and it paid off for you big with Bash. What was going through your mind when you saw that green text?
Internal screaming. No, like, seriously, though, the fact that that was grenade locked, or implied that grenade had to be somewhere where we could go grab it, was like, I actually was like, what? How? Where? It was very confusing, but I was like, I ran with it.
ernEst, in the meantime, you actually found Charge Flame and later Grenade with your the path you ended up taking into Grotto. However, you did not end up grabbing that Bash, and it seemed like you were a little worried about the final escape because you were checking more pickups after you'd finished 10 trees. I'm guessing this was not the kind of go mode you were used to?
Yeah, I was thinking about the final escape when I got all 10 trees, and I was like, Bash could be useful or something, but I thought I can check some pickups on my way there, and I mean, I can finish the escape, but it would be more useful with like Glide or Bash.
Yeah, definitely. Did not end up finding those, but you definitely nailed that escape. Very impressive first try use of those extra movement abilities to really make your way through places where you couldn't with just those skill sets alone. Very impressive stuff.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah.
All right, and thank you, thank you, Ernesto and Poogle, for joining us for that interview. Looks like our next race in this tournament is going to be on Sunday, tomorrow, at 11 a.m. Eastern. We've got Grem versus Enri. So go ahead and join us again for that. Thank you, Poogle, for joining me. Poogle. Thank you, Aiko, for joining me for commentary.
Thank you. This has been great. Also, thank you so much to our restreaming crew, Jamal handling the restream, Guard and Skull doing tracking for us. And thank you everyone watching and runners and everyone participating in this tournament. Follow our runners. I'm gonna press follow our commentators, read more about our tournament, and have a wonderful day.